We are live on YouTube. Welcome, YouTubers. If you're tuning in this morning, we have a 9 o'clock start, and we're going to power through today, so we should get you off the screen early. Hello, Taylor.
Sneaking right in there.
It wasn't much of a sneak. It was like, my favorite part is for you to get a picture of me, you have to hold the camera over your head. Yeah. Or you could be short. Now, I'm not sure which it is. Maybe both. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hopefully you're in your car listening to us or in your garden tilling up your spring soil. Whatever it is that you're doing, we're happy to have you as our friends and guests today. We have a nice audience. They are starving to death. So Rashida, are you making breakfast this morning? You are? Okay, good. They're in for a treat. You know, our breakfast right now, Bridget, you know you've made it a couple of times, is the ham and Beecher's?
We're using Beecher's cheddar.
Yeah.
With a little
Don't
bit
call
of
it
green.
cheddar. Beecher's flagship.
Okay. Why?
He doesn't like the word cheddar for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, he thinks it cheapens his brand. I don't know why. What do I know?
But the British, I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's delicious.
Uh-huh.
And the Madeleines. Instead of a
So
muffin,
good.
you get these puffy, beautiful little brown butter Madeleines with a little orange zest. in
Yeah,
them.
a little fried egg, fruit cup,
It's a rockin'
mushroom
deal.
gravy. Oh,
How much are
Lordy.
tickets?
$30. And you got somewhat hot coffee, depending on who made it.
No, they just brewed it. What do you mean it's not hot?
Well, the other day when I had it, it was not hot.
Oh.
You weren't here. Anyway, good fun here at the Hot Stove Society. Join us at hotstovesociety.com or catch us on YouTube anytime by turning to Tom Douglas and Go. You can pick up all of our old shows, too.
Absolutely.
Or previously
Years.
aired. They're not old. They're previously aired shows.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hopped on yesterday because I wasn't on the show. Loretta was. And when you go to YouTube, there's a live button, and you have to click on that.
Okay. Makes sense.
Because I didn't realize it, so I'm looking.
You were chatting.
It's better than the dead button. Then we have issues.
It was funny because Jackie was on,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, "Oh, Jackie's on today," you know.
Well, that's very interesting, Bridget. We are coming to you from our studios here in downtown Seattle, 4th and Virginia at the beautiful Hotel Andra. In our neighborhood, it's Douglasville around here. We have Dahlia Bakery, Lola, Neb, and the Hot Stove
Serious
Society,
Pie.
Serious Pie, all right here on this corner. So come join us sometime for our staycations. Super fun. Upcoming classes here at the Hot Stove. With you, Bridget, tell us about the macaroon class.
You know, we've been on this French pastry kick, and we've been doing this class for a little while. Macaron.
So sorry.
Those are the.
I thought he was the president of France.
That's macaron.
Yeah, it's no macaron.
Yeah.
And it is not. It's the almond flour ones, and they're lovely. And so we love to do them in the spring and make them different colors, different fillings. Super fun.
I fell in love with those at Laudray in Paris, and then we've been on a quest for the best ones. I think still Pierre Hermé are the best ones that I've had.
You can get those at the airport now.
Oh, I hate that idea. I like that you have to walk down a street, you can't find your way, you have to circle the block a few times so you feel like you can eat 3 extra ones because you've put in the work. The Art of Pan Dolce with Chef Nico Caballero is June 7th, and many more classes available if you go to hotstovesociety.com. Maybe one will pique your interest. On today's show, we have a contest running,
We do.
and so tell me about that.
It's a Mother's Day giveaway. So write in a favorite Mother's Day story, and the first 10 entries will get sent a signed copy of Tom's I Love Crab Cakes book, 50 recipes for an American classic cookbook. So just email us at beckyg@tomdouglas.com by May 15th, and we love hearing your stories.
Yeah, and don't forget to put
great.
your address in
That's
so
a
we know
good
where to
point.
send the book.
Yeah.
And the reason this is happening is because last week's show, I talked about what I would make for my mom when I would go home to visit her. Which wasn't often on Mother's Day, but I always brought something. So typically for me it was a 5-pound can of crab, Dungeness crab.
Very
And
generous,
she
Tom.
loved some crab cakes, that woman. And I think I told you when I asked her, I was writing this book, I said, where where's your favorite crab cake? Because I'm trying to get all these different recipes. She says, you're looking at it. It's mine. She made
She's very
hers
proud.
right off the can from the Old Bay.
Uh-huh.
And then, with the little tweaks here and
Right.
there. Yeah.
That's
Blue
cute.
crab, probably.
She was
right?
very proud of her crab cakes.
Mhm.
Let's see. It's Hunger Awareness Month. My youngest sister, I have 6 sisters, 5 living, and my youngest sister is the executive director of the Emergency Food Network in Tacoma.
Oh.
And so she's going to join us for a few minutes to talk about what's going on in that world.
Mhm.
I know we're going to discuss a little bit about the trickle-down theory. One thing Reagan got right was the trickle-down theory. Sometimes there's big companies or big distributions
saying.
that trickle down into your neighborhood food bank. And that's what Food Lifeline, that's where the Emergency Food Network, that's what some of these big distribution
Ripple effects.
food bank networks do, because they collect it in a more efficient way, and then they can help the smaller food banks and food pantries be more efficient. So that's what she does.
That's great.
Looking forward to chatting with her because May is Hunger Awareness Month. Randy Brooks is here, founder and winemaker at Bacco Vino, and tells us about their waterfront tasting room in Pioneer Square, brand new. I'm trying to picture where that is, so I'm curious exactly. Spring pasta dishes, we're going to talk a little bit about. Thank the Lordy, Bridget, as you know, it used to be 30 some years ago, 40 years ago, when vegetarianism was kind of new in this country, and you
always
every once in a while people would say, I'm a vegetarian, so you'd make them pasta primavera. They got it in every restaurant every time they asked.
Totally.
And now it's something so common it's not even
Not an
even
issue.
something. But I had forbidden our restaurants some 30 years ago to no more pasta primavera. Be more creative. Think of something as your veg option.
Oh,
for the
really?
evening. So as you start the evening with your service, it's not necessarily on the menu, although soon it became a constant menu item. But it was something that you had previously thought about that would make a great vegetarian entree if asked. And
it
there
was
wasn't
always
that much demand, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
No, huh? That's awesome.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how to change pasta primavera into something super sexy.
Oh man, there's so many now.
Yeah, exactly. Liz Philpott is founder of Eat Seattle Tours. Liz Philpott, founder of Eat Seattle Tours. Those are the tours that you see around the Pike Place Market a lot. I don't know if they go outside the market a whole lot, but I'm sure they do.
Yeah, she's got some neat places, and it's
once in a while they come to the Dahlia Bakery. I don't know if Eat Seattle does, but there's several different versions. But yeah, anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Rashida's here. She's making our breakfast and going to be on the mic later to talk about Chatuchak Night Market in Thailand and all the fun things that you're going to find there. If you're going to Thailand, you can't miss this place. The woman who will not leave me alone. I think she's in love with me. Brittany Bartolome.
oh, there we go. I was wondering where that was going to go.
I hope she's listening right now. She's going to be here to talk about hot cakes and their springtime desserts. And of course, going to wrap up the show with Food for Thought Tasty Trivia.
I watched last week, Tom.
You did what?
I watched the show last week.
Oh, Loretta kicked it last week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sit
Anyway,
in the right seat.
yeah. Do you have a taste of the week there, Miss Charters? Did I even introduce you, Bridget? You
It's
are
all right. It's
a chef
okay,
instructor here at the Hot Stove.
I know. People like, oh, what do you do? And it's like, well, I'm part-time now, just winding my way down. But I'm like the consigliere here. Annie's the boss.
Mhm.
She does an amazing job. And we all kind of pitch in on the production here.
Here's what
And
I want to
teach
know
classes.
I want to know this about Annie. I was just sitting at her desk. On one side, there's a half a thing of blueberries. On the other side, there's some wilted celery and carrots. And then in front of her is a quart of water. There's a reason why she's 4 foot tall and 50 pounds.
And she already rode her bike this morning.
And she already rode her bike this morning.
She did?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
good
It's
for her.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's in a panic about becoming round because she's so short. It's easy to become just totally round.
I'm tall and I'm round. What does that got to do with anything?
That's a lot of weight.
Anyway, your taste of the week. Sorry.
No, it's quite all right. I was just telling Becky that in my garden last year, I let my parsley go to seed, my Italian parsley. So I now have a hedge of Italian parsley. And then I have that wild arugula that grows. The plant keeps coming up every year. And I had some overwintered kale. So I picked it all and made a pesto. And I bought some really yummy pasta from Chef Shop. It's a little expensive, but that was dinner. Vegetarian. It was I made a kale, parsley pesto.
So when you make a pesto like that, are you following the traditional classic Genovese basil pesto recipe, just substituting for the basil?
Yeah.
Or you're using olive oil, cheese, lemon, pine nuts. You're doing the whole shebang.
Yeah, but I like to mix it up with the cheese, depending. Like I had some pieces of parm that I needed to use up, and I had some pecorino that I needed to use up. So I ground that first. And the thing about making pesto is get the herbs and olive oil going, but get the garlic and olive oil going first, then add the herbs. Don't add the cheese until the very, very end.
Okay.
And I had almonds. I had pine nuts, but I had some almonds I wanted to use. Skin on, delicious.
My taste of the week is a cheese that I've talked about a couple of times, but it's from Meredith, Meredith, Meredith Dairy,
Yeah.
out of Australia, and it's the marinated little chunks of goat/sheep's milk cheese. You can get a plain goat, but you can also get the combo. I like the combo.
And where do you get these?
And it's marinated in Australian extra virgin olive oil, black peppercorns, and sprigs of thyme.
Ooh,
And
that
it's a little
sounds good.
jar, and you can pretty much get them at any store now. I've even seen them at Costco now.
They have big jars at Costco, right?
Yes, but you can get little ones at grocery stores. They're
Yeah.
so good.
It's the bomb.
It is.
I just think it's lovely. And so I was making a salad. I took the little chunk out and I broke up the little over my
Oh.
salad, little fresh shove or fresh sheep's milk cheese. Here's the kicker, though. When you get done with all the cheese, there's about 3-4 ounces of goat cheese olive oil.
Wait,
essentially.
let me guess. You made the dressing from
I
that.
made the dressing from the.
Awesome.
You just got to strain out the black
Brilliant,
peppercorn
yeah.
and thyme sprig, but it's a really flavorful olive oil that maybe
Oh,
some
that
people would
sounds
just
good.
chuck, but it's perfectly delicious and it's got the goat cheese kind of flavor to it. So I doubled up on my deliciousness with the cheese and with that in my vinaigrette. Oh,
Yeah.
Lordy.
Great tip.
Oh, Lordy, it
Doing
was
it.
good. And I think next week we're having, what's her face on from Australian wine,
Oh, Sally James.
Sally James is coming on. I want to ask
Chef
her about
Sally.
that cheese because, I love it.
Sounds good.
I've been eating so much of it, and you just pour. I mean, you just put the cheese on your Effie's homemade biscuit, and then you spread the cheese on, and then you dip the whole biscuit in the olive oil and pop it in your mouth.
That sounds
And
good.
wash your clothes later.
Yeah. God.
All right, up next, Michelle Douglas from the Emergency Food Network and Hunger Awareness Month are going to combine here on the show. It's the Hot Stove Society Radio Show, 97.3 FM.
Nice.
She pulled a crab cake recipe out of a magazine that she wanted me to make for her.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cute.
Out of where?
She always had them from a magazine. She had a whole file of them. Thank you.
Who's
Right
got
up.
her little file? Who's got a recipe box?
You would not believe there was like 10 recipe boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just
Where did those go? Do we know?
I don't know who ended up with them. I mean,
She
there's
put
a
them
lot
on
of bad
eBay.
recipes in there.
Well, my mom was a clipper,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and so they was full of little
Yeah. And then she moved on to Manila files,
right
you know, where she
and then,
would.
with the little
Yeah. So when I came, I made 7 things from her file that last visit.
Uh-huh.
And there we go.
There you go.
Yeah. 5 of
That's
them were
awesome.
desserts.
When Michelle came in today, I said, "Go over and say hi to Mom," because my mom's stove is right there in the corner, and her picture's on top. And so she did. Went over and said hi to Mom.
Yep.
That's sweet.
Those things are really good. The
The
Madeline.
Madeline's.
Brown
Yummy, huh?
butter, I think, is the tip.
All right, here we are back in the kitchens of the Hot Stove Society show. Michelle Douglas is here. Happens to be my baby sister, the youngest of 6. And you're still alive.
Right.
You know, we are getting old.
Some of us are getting old. Some
Yeah.
of us are not quite so old.
She
Yeah.
doesn't look like she's getting old, Tom.
I mean, if you put you and I next to each other, we know who's older.
Whoa, coming in hot.
Good
Coming in
morning,
hot.
Douglas's.
That wasn't funny, Bridget. I'm not sure
It's totally funny. Our family does that all the time.
Really?
No, totally.
Okay, then.
What's the
Well-
age difference? Hang on. Age difference.
She's what, 70 and I'm 66.
I just turned 54. Try
Oh,
again.
I got you mixed up with my oldest
Oh, yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
Looks aren't everything though.
Ouch.
Yeah, see, she got
Typical
that.
brother. God.
Yeah.
She's
Uh,
a guest on the show.
Well, then
Tom.
let's talk about what you
Yeah.
do. And I think, our friend Pamela, who used to produce our show here, went off to save the world. And I feel like you did the same thing.
Yep.
And you are saving the world every day.
Thank you.
And I love you for that. And I think you do a beautiful job. You are well regarded, respected in your community.
Thank you.
And tell us about the Emergency Food Network.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. Emergency Food Network is the main distribution point for all of Pierce County, and Pierce County is pretty big.
Distribution of what?
So we distribute
Bowling balls?
Yeah. No, we distribute emergency food, and I appreciated what you said earlier about how that distribution center offers such a degree of efficiency and maximization of resources. So when you think about it, we can receive in a truckload of food, whether that's apples or potatoes or onions, and then we subdivide it out to 75 different food pantries based on the capacity, how many customers they have, what they need. In the food banking world, for example, refrigeration is a really big deal. Freezer
At
space
each of the little pantries,
at
right?
each of those little pantries, right? So we do customization so that they only get as much frozen product, for example, that they can distribute that week, and then we deliver again the next week. And when we think about that large scale distribution center, we're a piece of the chain to get food down to 75 different food agencies in our neck of the woods. It's really impactful to be able to work in that volume, but it also allows us to buy in that volume. We buy almost $2 million worth of food a year, but we buy it by the truckload, right? We're not buying anything by the case.
Right.
And
And
so
do you have a food partner that you buy with? Like, for example, when I was on the Food Lifeline board, we used Costco sometimes. They had offered like to pair up with us to buy bigger, cheaper loads.
yeah, so Costco's a great example. They also help us with sometimes granting us gift cards so that we can use that towards large scale loads.
Oh.
We have a big relationship with Pepsi Cola, who also owns Quaker Oats, right? We love it when we get those Quaker Oat truckloads in. But when we're doing buying, we sometimes also buy with other food pantries. So we have food pantries that are large in our area, like Nourish or Good Roots, and we might buy a whole load with them. And we'll take maybe 20 pallets out of it, and then maybe they'll take 4.
Mhm.
But that
Oh.
optimization of resources is really what a distribution center is best at.
Yeah.
And
It's the hidden piece of our food banking
It's
system.
essential.
Because
right.
people don't understand that distribution network lives above your local food bank. Ballard Food Bank, where Pamela works at the senior center in the market, and the food bank in the market, they get everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you have a big facility down in the Tide Flats at Tacoma or
We're
something?
not in the
off
Tide
I-5?
Flats. Yeah, we're in Lakewood actually, and we have 3 warehouses.
Wow.
And we just built one last year, the Greens, and it's about 22,000 square feet and 5 high, and so it allows us to say yes. I mean, that's part of what. It's negotiation,
Yeah.
just like everything else. But we want to be in a position where we can say yes to food, receive it in, and then sub-distribute it out. That's really where the sweet spot of this
Nice.
is. And when we think about right now, we're bringing in a lot of product that is from a state climate grant. And so it's product that's in cold storage in Eastern Washington. We're bringing in, 3 or 4 truckloads a week of that product. And then
Like apples?
yeah, so like 26 pallets of apples at a time. If you
Oh.
dump 26 pallets of apples at a
Because
small
they need
food
the
bank,
apples are going to start
Yeah.
growing and they need
They-
to move it.
they
Got
couldn't-
it.
So they're
Take it.
free to them if they can take them.
yeah. So,
Sometimes you have to pay what, transportation, right? Or,
yeah, or by the pound. But for but between Harvest Against Hunger, we might pay 10 cents a pound for
Uh-huh.
potatoes. That's not what you're paying in the marketplace.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. But when we talk about 40% of the food in the United States being wasted, that's the kind of thing that distribution centers like ours really step into that space, right? Because if you don't have a way to get the product out, then it goes bad.
Yeah.
And do you also deal with grocery stores then?
We deal with grocery stores, we deal with distribution outlets. We're really well positioned because there's a lot of large scale distribution down there.
So you guys have trucks and you go around and hit all the grocery stores in Tacoma
And we do deliveries
Olympia.
to our sites and so forth.
So May is Hunger Awareness Month.
it is.
How do you suggest? I mean, everybody needs to do something,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
And whether you think you do or whether you'll ever step foot into a food bank, good for you. If you never have or never have to, but you never know when
You
it might
never
come your
know.
direction
Yeah.
that you have to.
1 in 4 people in Washington went to a food bank last year.
Yeah.
I think we really need to
Wow.
sit and understand how many of our neighbors that is
Yeah.
that need the food bank to make it every single day.
So, how do you suggest that people get involved from the easiest, smallest way to the largest?
Thank you so much for asking. So, as Tom said, May is Hunger Awareness Month. We have a big hunger walk, which you can come out and walk with us and raise money. I think the easiest thing you can do in May is if you receive a bag in your mailbox. It's the Letter Carriers Food Drive, which
I
is
do
a
it every year.
national
Yeah.
I do it
effort,
too.
right?
Yeah.
All you have to do is put food in that bag, and somebody's going to come to your porch and pick it up. Like that is such an
Simple.
easy way. You can grow a row. I know a lot of people are starting to put in their gardens right now. Grow an extra row for the food pantry. They're going to love that fresh produce. Maybe when you're at the grocery store, you can afford to buy an extra item. Even better than that, you can make a donation to the food bank. Because as we said, we're leveraging $1 into 2 meals. So that's a great way to go. And
So if
then
you think about, so at the grocery store, you always see these buy a bag for the food bank, right? It's $20. Well, that $20 that you can buy that grocery bag for has 5-6 pounds of food in it.
Yep.
What can you turn $20 into? How many
We
pounds
can
of food?
literally turn that into $20 into 40 meals. And
Wow.
part of
40
that,
meals.
is
Wow.
because of the repack potential. So we're buying food in large quantity, and
Wow.
volunteers, 2,200 volunteers are coming through and repacking that food into
Yeah.
family size bags. That's another great thing. You can volunteer at the distribution center. You can volunteer at your food pantry. And then, I often say that the easiest thing to do is people don't always know how to get food. So like if you are struggling with food or you have the opportunity to amplify our message, you can direct people on how to get food. We're in some really uncertain times in the United States right now, and we're going to have people that have never had to use these services that need them. So amplifying, following a food pantry, amplifying their message on social media, and helping people understand how to get connected to their food pantry is such an easy lift. But we always say time, treasure. If you can give us your volunteer hours, if you can share a donation with us, there are so many things to do. But there is no distribution agency, no food pantry that's going to solve hunger alone. We're
Right.
going to need to do this together.
Yeah, exactly. And the 3 T's, right? Time, talent, treasure. You've got one of them. You might have all 3 of them.
Right.
Good for you. But you've got at least one of them. So
Exactly.
let's get out there and make Hunger Awareness Month
Right.
something special.
And the one thing I was thinking about with Tom talking about emptying his freezer, your pantry, you bought all this stuff at Costco, you're probably not going to use it by the date. Pack that into a
Before it
bag and
goes
have
bad.
it ready
Yep,
to
exactly.
go.
Well,
And
that's
you can do multiple bags for the carrier.
Of course, you can do as much as you want, but do not put it in the bag, out of date product, dented cans.
Because
Right.
then they
That's-
have to recycle it.
They have
Yeah.
to throw it away and pay to throw it away.
Yep.
Right.
So it has to be fresh and
Good
delicious food.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And protein, anything protein is so incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, tuna in a can, anything like that. Perfect.
I keep a cabinet in my garage of most basic earthquake supplies, right? Canned chicken, some bags of dal, lentils and stuff like that are all prepped and ready to go.
Mhm.
I rotate that. Usually it's an 18-month shelf life. I rotate that every year, and I just buy a new set.
Yep.
To me, it's less than $50 to replenish that. And then I just give my other stuff on the mail
That's
carrier
brilliant.
drive.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
that's really brilliant.
Such a valuable way to help
Mhm.
the community. We have to help each other.
All right, I wanted to get to Pam's stone soup lunch, but we're not going to get there today. Maybe sometime further in the show I can do that. Up next, by the way, that was Loretta. By the way, that's Michelle Douglas, my baby sister, the Emergency Food Network of Pierce County's executive director, and you're the bomb.
Thank you.
All right, Randy Brooks. Let's fix that again, too. For some reason, I'm in a hurry today. Randy Brooks, founder and winemaker at Bacovino, is going to talk about their new tasting room in Pioneer Square.
Yes.
You're listening to us on Cairo, Hot Stove Society, 97.3 FM.
Thank
Nice
you.
job, kiddo.
Nice.
Say hi to Pammy.
I will.
Hi, Randy. You know why? Just look in front of you. You're not as short as you could be. All right, thanks. You know, I'm gone for. Yeah. Okay.
I thought we were gonna have dinner.
He's at the farm.
It doubles of just 3.
Love you. See ya.
Take care.
Right.
Can we get one of those open for them? The team can do it for you.
Okay. All right. Let her know the GSM is probably the one to open.
Which one? The
GSM. That wouldn't be as heavy of a wine this morning. Okay. Okay.
Can you open
Is that
and
good?
pour some wine so that I can have Becky back, please?
Lean in a little bit.
It's over
Okay.
there.
How about that? Is that all right?
It's she's got it. The Syrah bottle. Yeah, she's got it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Where are you on Pioneer Square?
We're on 80 Yesler Way. So we're
80?
we're half a block from the ferry terminal.
So the old Albocalino space?
The old Michelli's.
Oh, Michelli space.
Oh,
And you gotta
right on the corner
When I moved
there.
to Seattle, that was the hottest restaurant location.
Man,
in
no
town.
Was it?
kidding.
Open till 4 a.m. in the morning.
Party
Michelli's.
upstairs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And Randy, you want to be really close.
And I love the backstory on that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory on that. I
It's-
think Danny is still in France, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. Ted's over there too. So
Ted
They've
first
been-
moved there?
Yeah.
Did Kathy?
Kathy's there now. She's just back and forth. She'll be back in
Oh,
a
okay.
couple of months. She's like, I can't stay. So she's back and forth. She still has her house on Cap Hill.
I didn't know Ted had moved there.
Ted's all in. Ted's all in.
No. No way. No kidding. Wow.
Went to high
Wow.
school together in Bellevue.
Wow. Amazing.
Always running into somebody.
That's great.
That's great.
Okay, let's do this. Randy, are you ready?
I am, yes.
Okay. I have to put these back on for a minute. We are back. It's been a fun morning already here at the hot stove. Have a lovely audience. And into the guest seat is Randy Brooks, founder and winemaker of Bacco Vino.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome to our kitchens. Come right up to that microphone, Randy.
Okay,
There
can you
you
hear me
go.
better now?
Oh, that sounds good.
Great.
Bacco Vino, a local independent winery. I don't think I know it. I don't think I've had it. So I'm looking forward to trying this morning.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Tell me about it.
Our story started, my story started in 2000.
We just heard Bellevue High School or something.
Yeah, Newport High School.
Newport High School,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Yes, we. I started collecting wine, and a few of my friends I was collecting wine with, we decided that we'd try our own hand at making some wine. So we thought in 2007 we'd start making our own, and that the attrition rate there fell out rather quickly. Those people who wanted to help, because everything was by hand.
Right.
We didn't have any equipment. at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And so that led into just a passion, and then in 2015 started plans for creating a business of it.
So that was just home wine, the garage wine.
That
essentially.
was it was barn wine.
Barn wine.
Barn wine. Yes, yes, even better than garage wine. And so cut my teeth on Syrah, as a matter of fact, from Red Mountain. I made Syrah from Red Mountain as well as Cabernet Sauvignon for more than 10 years from Red Mountain. And when you're new and nobody knows who you are and you're making garage wine, you're going to the vineyards after everyone else is picked. And you're asking the vineyard manager, what's still hanging that you might be able to let go?
Oh, really?
So it's because everybody else in Red Mountain has already had their pick, and there isn't any more fruit, generally speaking.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No, things have changed rather
Yeah, uh-huh.
rather quickly.
Did you have mentors that helped you along this process?
Well, I was a science major
Okay.
in college, but then had to change. We had some friends who were in the wine business. One friend, Joel Klein, who was a winemaker at Chateau Saint Michel.
Mhm.
Another Rick Foreman over at Foreman Vineyards, which
Right.
formerly Sterling, as a winemaker. And so with that, we had quite a bit of kind of a nudge on where we're doing things wrong and where to go right. And I read a lot, and through all of the reading and learning, we just learned trial and error, and learn from our collecting days. We were collectors, and what really got us into it is our first growth Grand Cru Class A's, and trying our hand at saying how close. No, not possible. Not possible.
Yeah.
But how close could we? And so it was that bet, when you've had the last glass of the stretch of bottles, and you said, okay, well, I don't know if we can or not, but let's
Uh-huh.
try.
So what was the winery in Rhone say? You make this as Syrah, so that's typical Côte de Rhone or that area wine. What winery just said, oh, if I could make a wine like this?
My goodness, if I could make a wine like a Petrus, I would be absolutely in heaven.
But isn't Petrus Merlot?
Petrus is predominantly Merlot, yes.
Uh-huh.
So we're predominantly a Bordeaux house,
Okay.
but also a Rhone as well.
I see.
As well. We have such amazing Rhones
Yeah.
here, but Syrah was what I could get early on in the days.
Oh, I see.
Still,
Now
it was
I
still
better
hanging.
understand now, yeah.
So that was what prompted the whole journey.
The French style
yes.
Syrahs.
And for those of you who don't know, Petrus sells for about 1,000 or more a bottle.
Yes.
We
Now.
call it in our house very expensive pee. Because
my God.
the next day
It's so
it's
true.
gone. It's like
Right.
you just drank $1,000.
But it's amazing.
But it's
juice.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's very few wines in my mind that live up to that hype.
Mhm.
And the one Petrus that I've had in my life did.
Mm.
Yes, the last I had was a 72 Petrus,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't know if it was going to be vinegar or if it was going to be beautiful. But true to form, it was gorgeous
Amazing.
in every facet.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful.
So can you tell us about your exciting new waterfront that you just opened
Oh
up in
my
January?
Gosh, we are so excited to be able to have a waterfront location. We are located just across from the ferry terminal. So we're about a quarter of a block from the ferry terminal, right across from the Citizen M Hotel, right in the north end of Pioneer Square and kind of right on the waterfront area. We have windows from floor to ceiling that allow us to be able to view the sunset every evening. We see the ferries come and go. There's an unobstructed view. We have just an amazing time there. It's tough to get people to know where we're located.
Oh, I know. That's
because
a tough area now.
we're
it
on-
used to be, when I first moved here in 77,
Man,
it was the hottest restaurant spot in the city because Danny Mitchell's Michelli's restaurant was there, and it was open till 4 a.m. and late night gig for all the restaurant workers. Had a kind of an oval bar in the center of the restaurant. It was the bomb, and then it died off, and now you're reviving it.
Yes, and 84
That's great.
Yesler is right next to us.
Uh-huh.
So we're partnering with them for
Oh,
people
their menus
who
are
wanna,
great.
who want to come in and grab a bottle of wine or two. We'll cork it for them. They take it over there, and they're not paying a corkage fee. We're working with them in terms of some platters as well that our guests can have.
Yeah.
That maybe more elevated experience.
How nice. Yeah. That's as Tom was saying, I mean, when I came into town in 95, it was booming down there. I mean, it was crazy. That's where you went to hang out, was Pioneer Square. And so it's nice. Is it starting to pick up down there?
It's coming back.
Nice. It's
When
so
we-
beautiful down
When
there.
we signed our lease, there was maybe 20% vacancy down there in the area.
Uh-huh.
Now I think there may be 4 places that are available for lease.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no
There's-
kidding.
There's a good number of places. The Woodside, the new hotel has just come in. That is competing with now the Four Seasons Olympic and the Fairmont.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's the Westland Hotel. And then there are some other bars that are coming in the Rail Spur. There's all kinds of development going on down there.
So if folks are coming up for a Mariners game or something, come early and they can come down and see you guys.
A Mariners game or is coming to the area.
Yeah.
We're 7 blocks from Pike Place Market, and
Oh.
7 blocks to Lumen Field, 2 blocks to the light rail,
Oh, that's nice.
a half a block from
From
the
the
ferry.
ferry.
Yeah.
If you're in West Seattle, the ferry just drops you off right there.
If that was me right now, I would, and I was the concierge where you are, I would send people to walk up the brand new waterfront. The
So
Mhm.
pretty.
landscaping is amazing.
Yeah.
The views are awesome. The piers are now reopening, and then take that little overwalk, the flyover walk from the aquarium up over into the Pike Place Market.
Mhm.
It's a much prettier walk than going up Western Avenue all the way.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
you can just walk the waterfront all the way
Yeah,
down.
all the way down. That's what I'm saying.
and just right where the ferry terminal is, just right across the street. We're maybe no more than 500 feet.
Yeah.
From the ferry terminal.
Right. And that I was just down there. The bike path down there is fabulous.
The revitalization that has gone on in the city, particularly since the removal of the Alaskan Way Viaduct, has been tremendous. And we're
It's been
really
painful too.
my
As
God,
somebody
has
who
it?
lives and
Yes.
works
Yes.
Yeah.
in the area, it's been painful, all the construction, and it's still not done, but it's getting closer.
It's getting real close.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see the new businesses coming in, the new restaurants, the new merchants, the amount of people coming down there now. I just saw a statistic that it looks like we're on path to reach pre-COVID numbers of foot traffic down there now.
Oh, good.
So that's encouraging.
Yeah.
It's really
nice.
encouraging.
Nice. That's awesome.
One of my concerns is the Canadians.
Yeah.
Right now they hate us, as you can understand why with what our friend in the White House is doing, and we are seeing our Canadian tourist business, like the Mariners were talking about the Toronto series, just coming up with the Mariners, that it's literally half
Oh, too
of
bad.
the attendance that they've had in the past because the Canadians aren't coming south, and we're seeing it in the Pike Place Market. We're seeing it all over the city that the Canadians are boycotting the states, and that's painful. So all these little things like this, the waterfront's finally getting done, and then something like this happens.
Mhm.
You never. It's business is a funny animal.
Well, that leads into when I started this business in 2019 was a great time to actually start the business, to fully launch it, because COVID was right around the corner. I was down in Australia and in New Zealand studying and working with some wineries down there when all COVID hit, and I was lucky to get back.
Yeah.
Glad that I did get back, but I came back late, almost April, which was tough to get back into the States at the time. And what was interesting is now what we're seeing is almost a review of that sort of fear
Yeah.
because of what we had to deal with back then. We weren't able to open our doors for 2 years
Crazy.
because we were considered a bar.
Yeah.
So we had no revenue for 2 years, and we focused on the wine, and it's old world style.
Yep.
Which you can appreciate is going to be different, but it takes longer for us to work, and we want it to age before we
Right.
release it. So what we're releasing and what we have available are 2018 through 2020
Wow, no kidding.
in our tasting room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
That's super fun. Only a couple of wineries that do that. Chinook was always famous for holding on to their vintages for a few extra years, giving it some bottle time. I feel like I don't know if it's because you said it or not, but I feel like I taste more terroir in your wine than I do a lot of wines, rather than just grape juice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want the wine to really speak for the sense of place for which the grapes came, because there's so much that goes into the farming of the grapes, and I don't want to be a farmer. I know what goes into that.
Yeah.
That's too much work to do both. So we're focusing on making wine and trying to share what we believe is a good representation of Washington State wines.
All right, Becky, tell us where the
great.
tasting room is again.
It's at 80 Yesler Way it's just called Seattle Waterfront Tasting Room, correct?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
brilliant.
Bacco Bacovino is what's listed on the.
Bacovino, Bacovino. All right, go say hi to Randy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
We're going to come back at you with some spring pasta dish ideas on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Thank you so much.
House breakfast.
With wine?
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'll come down and say hi.
There you go, Bridget. Love it.
This shot of tequila to get me going in the morning.
Whiskey. Oh, that's cute.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Oh, so nice.
So have you literally not seen each other since high school? That's crazy.
She didn't know he was going to be on the show.
No.
That's fun.
All right, we're back here in the kitchen on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show. Richard Charter's at the mic. Tom Douglas at the
Hi,
mic.
Tom.
She's got a mouthful. I hope it's pasta.
Yes, kind of.
Anyway, we're going to talk spring pasta dishes right here.
Love that.
And as I said in the opening, the pasta dish of my youth, my chef youthness, was always pasta primavera, because it's something you could throw together and a vegetarian would be happy, sort of.
Bunch of
And
different
that's
mixed veggies.
45 years ago, right? And then vegetarian food got much, much more popular. And so we put more effort into it, obviously. I know Chef Terry, when he had Rover's restaurant, he had a whole tasting menu of 10 courses,
Beautiful.
but he had a
spring
matching
stuff.
vegetarian tasting menu.
Yeah.
And I would credit that for me a little bit of inspiring me to do better. You know how sometimes you think you've made something, but I could do better. And Terry always had just lovely vegetarian dishes on his menu. And so I worked harder on doing better for vegetarians. And
Yeah.
of course, now it's 20% of our sales. You know,
Right.
it's not just the one-off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not the
that's good to
one-off
know.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Europeans just know so much more about eating with the seasons, you know.
Well, here's something
That's-
that's kind of cute that was written in the New York Times cooking supplement. It says, here's a question to consider. If summer has its ice cream and grill smoke, fall casseroles and roasts, winter its soups and stews, what are spring's hallmarks? The warming weather calls for something fresh and bright, but the lingering chill still demands something with heft. Is this pasta's time to shine?
So that's the question posed.
Mhm.
It can be.
Yeah, my wife is a pasta head, so she eats pasta year round.
Right.
But it's time to shine for me. You know, I'll just say I'm cleaning out the freezer right now. We put away all last year's produce to save through the winter. And of course, she's so stingy with it that now
You keep talking about those peas,
I
Tom.
know. Well, guess what? I thought we were done. She just brought 2 quarts more from the farm
Oh.
because she's a hoarder.
Yeah.
She's a pea hoarder.
But you know what? Loretta's going to raid your farm when you're gone, or your pantry.
I know she is.
Is that what Loretta said?
Yeah, she said they won't be there when you get back, Dad. Don't worry.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we just had a beautiful smoking goose, guanciale, and pea pasta. So you can make plenty of vegetarian
Mhm.
pastas, but I do like that little accent of some smoked guanciale or some pepper bacon or something like that. It's a combination with.
It's good in a risotto. It's good in a pasta.
So a spring pasta idea from you.
You know, the one that I always do is, and I think we made it at a restaurant down in San Francisco. It was asparagus cut really thin on the bias. Just you start at the tip and go all the way down until you get to the hard stuff. And then that gets lightly sauteed with some spring shallots, a little spring garlic.
Ramps, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything gets sauteed up lightly, and you add a little bit of either water or stock, chicken stock.
Now you've lost me for a bit, because to me that's immediately going to steam your veggies.
It's just a quick saute, and you've already dropped your pasta. We're talking just a minute at the most, just to get those veggies to soften slightly.
Uh-huh.
And then the pasta's done. And I just spoon the pasta rather than draining that giant pot of hot water. I just spoon the pasta into the saute pan
Uh-huh.
and adjust with a little water and simmer it all together. And you get that green flavor.
Mhm.
It's so good.
You said something about you just toss your pasta in the water. How much water do you need?
Yeah, you got me scared right now.
So
Because you know what? You use, excuse me, but you use overly salted water to cook your pasta. Now you're pouring that
well,
brackish, that
over
brackish.
any salt
Now
in
you're
the
pouring
water.
that brackish water into your pasta. How do you control it?
Oh my God.
How do you control it?
Oh my God. Jim, hopefully he's listening here. No, it's not brackish. It's just tastes like the sea. And so then I don't go heavy duty. I use that water to season my pasta, and then I add my cheese. And so
Which
I'm
is
not
salty.
really correct. I'm
Yeah.
not salting that base.
So-
Yeah, you wouldn't need to.
In the New York Times article, Julia Moskin reported earlier this year in a piece interrogating this very question, how much salt? She said, if it tastes like the sea, that's too salty. Her preferences was for water to be as salted as light as a light chicken stock. And that equates to
But
2
you don't-
tablespoons
Oh.
this is just her perspective.
Right.
Then she says,
Well,
as she
she is
also
famous,
recommends, do as you please, salt as much as you like. So
Well, and if you've ever been to Italy, holy smokers, like some places, yes, their pasta water has over reduced and they cooked your pasta and it was like, oh my God, your eyes are going to be puffy the next day.
Right.
But generally, nice light flavor. It's fine.
One of the nicer inventions since I've been cooking was turning a deep fryer into a pasta water bath. You've seen those, right?
Yeah, that's
And-
what they use in Italy.
Yeah, I understand. And
what do you
some of-
mean?
So you know what a deep
It's a
fryer
cooker.
is,
Yeah.
right? Or you know how you have a pan full of hot oil. Well, in a restaurant, in a pasta restaurant now, generally, they have a 50-pound tub. Like it would normally take 50 pounds of fat,
Mhm.
but then they use water instead. And oftentimes they have a recycler
A little
in it.
spigot.
So it's
So
not
that you-
super salty at the end
Right,
of the
because
night.
what happens is a pasta water sits on the back of your stove through your service at night in the restaurant, and it reduces, so you add another gallon of water to it.
Mhm,
But it stays super starchy.
mhm.
It doesn't ever do the same job that it did the first
First
time
time,
or
right.
the second time. Now you're on it the 10th time or the 12th time. It's just a different water bath.
Right.
And
Right.
so I like clean water for my pasta, maybe twice or 3 times, but not all night long, just boiling. But these new water bath pasta cookers,
They're pretty cool.
and they have little round baskets. So you drop one portion of
Oh,
pasta in,
easy.
you drop it down. And if you're using fresh pasta, it only takes a minute.
yeah.
If you're using dry pasta, it takes 10 minutes sometimes.
It's
right? So-
interesting when in Italy now there's this trend whereby if you've got kind of a larger sided saute pan, there's a technique now where they start their sauce and it's something that can be long cooked and they add a little bit of water to the sauce and put the dry pasta
Right.
water in the sauce and then just keep adding water as needed and simmer it that way. And it just about blew my mind because the chef Diego I worked for, we had one of those cookers, but we had dinner with him and that's how he cooked the pasta
Yeah.
that night.
And I love that because the pasta then soaks up your tomato water and all
Yeah,
the
it's
different things
amazing.
in the broth.
Yeah, it's amazing. But the rule of thumb for the Italians is a gallon of water cooks a pound of pasta.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
And almost always people use not enough water.
Yeah, because
You used to have a free,
little gummy.
rolling simmer.
So a gallon of water to a pound of pasta. How much water is left on top?
What
well,
do
it
you mean by
depends
that?
on what shape.
So I'm reading this article. It says, how much water do I need? Another common myth is that you need a lot of water to boil pasta. But the food scientist Harold McGee questioned that in 2009 when he asked Lydia Bastianich and Marcello Hazan, 2 famed Italian cooks, to help him out with a theory. And they found that you don't need nearly as much water. So save yourself some energy and time and just make sure you have enough water to cover the pasta evenly as you boil and stir frequently to avoid clumping. And it results in especially delicious and concentrated pasta water, which you were talking about, good enough to be in its own sauce with olive
so
oil.
she's talking about rigatoni or
Yeah.
penne or something like that.
Okay.
which are much thicker and much
And,
longer.
and you're
cooked.
using a high-sided kind of large sauce pot, like a 4-quart or
So-
a 6-quart.
Bridget, before we run out of time, there's a couple of things that I think can enhance your spring pasta saute, whatever that is.
Oh, good
One
job.
is fresh herbs. All the herbs are up.
Mm.
They're
the
all
fresh,
popping up.
right? Tarragon, mint, sprigs,
Chive,
whole herbs in your pasta, tossed at the last second, right before service.
delicious.
The other thing I think there's in the marketplace, there's these infused oils, like lemon infused olive oil.
Oh, those are nice. The
extra virgin.
Agrimonto.
And so when you have that pea and pancetta or pea and guanciale pasta using a lemon olive oil instead of just plain olive oil is
To
really
drizzle on
a
top.
lovely
Yeah.
thing to drizzle and finish with.
And those
You don't want to
spring-
cook it because you lose
No.
that fragrance, but you just drizzle it on top when you're done, and it's an intense, different kind of
Brightens
lemon
everything up.
flavor, and it doesn't give you the acid that maybe you already have in there from a squeeze of lemon.
Right. Fresh ricotta, fresh chev
Yeah.
for spring, delicious, sprinkled
Yeah,
on
so
top.
sometimes it's not really in the pasta; it's how you dress the pasta. Give it
Light.
that springy feel, right?
Yeah, delicious. So
Same
good.
thing with fennel. Take the hot pasta, the hot pasta. You know how the broth cooks the raw meat. That
Oh God, it's so
same
good.
thing with the vegetables. If you're going to go that route, it's like the hot oil, the hot broth, or the hot tomato sauce will cook your fennel enough that it still has crunch, and yet it takes the edge off raw.
Right. It's
Right.
so good.
Don't
Yeah.
overcook. Is
Sounds
the
great.
big thing. Phew. Boy, it's hard keeping up with the New York Times.
It is.
In our second hour, we're going to talk a little bit about Eat Seattle tours, the Thai night market with Chef Rashida. Brittany Bartolaban's going to join us, a charmer every time,
Mhm.
well, most every time. And then we play Rub with Love, Food for Thought, Tasty Trivia on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
All right, Liz, come on up.
Liz, I asked you if you were a guest on this. Now I get it.
And she is actually Fran Bigelow's daughter-in-law.
Ah,
We love Fran. Andrina.
Andrina is
Andrina,
my sister-in-law.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was on the show. And
well, how the
Yeah,
hell do
I
you
heard that
stay so
show.
skinny if you're in the Franz family?
No kidding.
Genetics. And
Really?
You should see my husband. He's
So, Liz, I want you to work with me. This is me,
this
and
is
this
you.
is me. Do you
Does
hear
it
the
sound good?
difference?
You
Sounds
sound
good.
Stay right up on it. Nope, you got to
Okay.
stay.
And you can,
don't
put,
look
you can
away.
put towards you too.
okay. Cool. Is it
Always
okay if I
talk to
stand?
them.
Maybe.
Sure.
Okay,
But always talk to the mic.
And then you can just tip it up. Here, Cameron, will you adjust that up a little bit? She's going to stand. What I want to know is what happens to the damaged peanut butter chocolate eggs for Easter? Like, do they have a
have a place in
a
Bridget's
broken
life?
bin? You know, kind of like the almond roca where you could get the buckets of them.
I don't know what they do with them. I have to ask this now. I can't believe I don't know this.
I'm going to email Fran. Like,
Yes.
Fran, it's so funny because those are like gold at Easter, but they're expensive.
I know Fran's husband and I always feel like we don't get enough chocolate. We're always needing more.
They're so delicious. Well, yeah, when they
So
were
good.
on the show, I happened to come in and wow, so good.
So good.
How's your breakfast? You've been here for the Spanish breakfast. What do you like better, the Frenchy breakfast or the Spanish breakfast? Okay.
They're both good, right?
This one was delicious. Good. You know, I taught them everything they know because I am a gravy god.
We've
Yeah.
heard that.
It was the perfect amount too. The perfect amount of gravy and perfectly seasoned.
Got the some.
And in case you thought the eggs were overcooked, that's how I like them, the little crispy brown edge. So
It's good.
They're a little
don't blame the
overcooked.
chefs for that. That's me. They're not. They weren't overcooked. They were perfect.
So American.
Go pot.
Yeah, you got
Okay.
it.
All right, here we are, running through the show here today.
Go ahead.
Liz Philpott is here, founder of Eat Seattle Tours. My name's Tom Douglas,
And I'm Bridget Charters.
and you are married into the Bigelow family.
That's
of
right.
Not the teas, but of the chocolate fame here in Seattle, Franz.
Mm-hmm.
And how's that going?
How's France going?
Yeah, you just said you don't get enough chocolate, so they're not taking care of you.
It's just so good. There's just never enough.
Oh, okay. All right. Tell us
true.
about your Eat Seattle tours.
Yeah, so we do chef guided food tours and we've been operating for 10 years.
Holy smokes.
Not amazing.
Yeah, time flies. We operate mostly in Pike Place Market, but we've expanded to South Lake Union, and now we have a new tour in the Seattle Center. It's called
Mix-
Noshes in the at the Needle.
Noshes at the Needle. Are they in the buildings or outside?
It's a variety. The Noshes at the Needle experience, as you know, that is quite spread out in the
Yeah.
Seattle Center. We start with a Seattle dog at Dogs in the Park, and then we head to the Armory for a taste at Premier Meat Pies. Nathan Bainbridge, awesome. Working with Royal Farms. It's a carbon neutral.
Yeah, we've had them on the show before.
Yeah, awesome.
Do they have, he's working with Royal Farms?
He is,
Okay.
yeah. And then we head over to Taylor Shellfish and taste some of the best seafood in the
fun,
world.
Fun.
Yeah, and then we head over to Sugar Bakery for a Nanaimo bar.
Oh,
Which is what?
What? Yeah, right.
What's
There's a
the Nanaimo
story.
bar? Do you know?
Yeah,
Like,
of course I do. I'm a tour guide. It has a nut base, so ground nuts, and then a custard center, and then ganache on top. And Nanaimo is a place in Canada, so
Yeah.
that's.
So is it
But it was started here.
enrobed? Is it enrobed in chocolate then on top of all that?
It's just a ganache. It's not
Okay,
enrobed.
okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Who was it locally that made the Nanaimo bars?
Probably them. Up
I think
there.
it is
Yeah.
Sugar Bakery.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh,
so
fun.
what inspired you to start Eat Seattle Tours, and how has it evolved over the years?
Well, through my travels, I really love this way of tourism where you connect with a local chef and learn all about the history and the culture through food. And I came back to Seattle in 2015 and really was trying to look for a similar experience, and wasn't finding it. And I have a degree from Le Cordon Bleu in Paris and lived there for 4 years and never really did anything with it. And I thought maybe this is a great opportunity to connect with chefs so we can have a more genuine conversation about our local food, small businesses, people who don't have time to tell their story. And it's so powerful.
Yeah. Now, you said Le Cordon Bleu. Isn't that where Julia studied in Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have anything for her there? Do they have like a shrine, a Julia shrine for her?
They don't. When I went, it was pretty discreet, and you could just pass it in the street and not realize it's there.
Uh-huh.
I suspect it has maybe evolved over the years. I got my degree in 1999.
Wow. You look like you're 12
Oh.
years old. That's
Thank
rough.
you.
And then you went to
Feeling
business
old there,
school.
Tom?
Then I went to business school in Paris after
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah, because I couldn't leave. I just
So,
couldn't.
what business did you get into that you felt you needed to leave and do something more fun? Said
Well,
corporate.
when I graduated, it was a choice of working
For
in
$8
France
an hour.
with the French,
Yeah.
and going back home to have a more decentralized corporate environment. So I chose that and sort of put my culinary degree on hold, because in the early 2000s, working in the kitchens as a woman in France wasn't like the most ideal conditions, at least for me. Wasn't the path I was looking for. So that is why I decided to come back home. I went into corporate world, and then I got bored, quit my job, traveled for a year in France and Italy and Croatia and Montenegro, and
That sounds
and
good.
just recentered, really fell in love with food tourism in the modern scene.
What's my favorite thing to do when traveling is starting with a food tour, especially if it's overseas, and doing it early on in the trip, so you get the lay of the land. And it's such a great way to go. And sometimes we have wonderful guides, and sometimes it's okay.
You
but it's
ever
still-
go back to one of your stops? Like, this was really a good taste. I'm going to go back for supper.
Yeah, they've walked us through kind of the different region, like in Tokyo recently, and then we went back to that same area for another
Uh-huh.
meal. Yeah,
Okay.
and you feel like you've learned how to get through the city.
Definitely. Becky, that is absolutely the way to do it. Do it early in your trip. Hopefully you have a great tour guide. Of course, as things get bigger and bigger, it gets a little bit more messy. So highly recommend booking directly with the business instead of working with a third-party ticketing company. And
So you could do either with you, but you prefer like people go right to the Eat Seattle tour.
yeah, go
site,
to
yeah.
the Eat Seattle tour site. And then they connect with our guide, and our guide just takes care of people. I mean, they're such a great team of chefs, and we have so much fun. And so we want to bring joy to people who are visiting. It's also a great thing to do for locals, and corporate companies love to do that
Absolutely.
as well.
Well, what's unique about your company is they all are chefs,
Yeah.
and that's pretty special. And I was
All the
thinking,
tour guides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, and I was thinking a great gift for someone.
Absolutely. You know, one of our first employees was Chef Wayne Johnson.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Big tears.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne was the chef at Fair Start for years. The
And the
Mayflower
Luca,
Hotel,
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first met him.
Ray's
So.
Mhm.
Boathouse.
Yeah.
Fun. Oh, good. So, how
And
do
he just
people
passed.
find you?
Yeah.
Do you have like a brick and mortar location, or
We
is it all
don't.
online?
You know, we're all online. It's eatseattletours.com. And yeah, it's pretty easy to book.
What kind of guests usually join your tours?
It's
Tourist,
a
local?
combination.
Okay.
Yeah, we really wanted to create the experience so locals would get a lot out of it, actually. And then if we do that, then the visitors are hanging out with locals, and they're just something that's
Great.
really, you know, what a local would do. And then, of course, we love doing private tours and working with corporate companies as well.
Private tours. That'd be a fun birthday,
Yeah.
special birthday. Something.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
good
we've,
idea.
we've done these for years. I don't know if we're on your list right now, but we've done them with Savor Seattle in the beginning for years and years. And it is interesting sometimes. Usually when I go out front, I'm out shucking oysters or I'm out doing something out front, and a tour guide will recognize me, but sometimes they don't. And I listen to their spiel, and it's very interesting what I've done and what I own. And I learn all kinds of things about me I didn't know when I hear them talk about me, which is super fun. I understand that they're just doing their job, but it is it's really funny to hear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like when I read about me online on, some website. It's like, wow, I didn't know I did that, but that's awesome.
Well, we do try to actively make sure facts are always correct.
Yeah.
And we would love to work with your companies if you're ever looking for more storytellers. And our partner network is over 30 companies that we work with right
Oh,
now
that's
in
wonderful.
Seattle.
Oh.
So to be able to support those small businesses is just really amazing.
No, it's super fun, and I think it's a good way to get exposure. I will say, from our experience, we don't get a lot of returns because they've tasted what we have to
Oh,
offer.
I see.
Mm.
And I would also say, if you're thinking about booking one of these tours and you see that, let's just say our restaurant Half Shell is on your list, and we're doing an oyster today, we're always willing to do a sub for the tour. Like, let's say you're a vegetarian, we will make something vegetarian. So maybe of the 12 people in the tour, 11
You're always very
get the
accommodating.
regular, and then we'll accommodate whatever that lasts. And I would imagine your people do the same.
Yeah,
I mean, we
absolutely.
don't force anyone to eat an oyster that doesn't want an oyster.
Yeah, of course we accommodate restrictions. There's
Yeah.
a lot of restrictions out there. For our new tour at the Seattle Center, it is a bit tricky to accommodate vegan on that because we are really trying to unapologetically show Pacific Northwest ingredients,
Mhm.
which happen to be oysters, and got a nice IPA on there. Uptown Hop House is on there. I don't know if you've ever talked to them, but Kirby goes
I don't
way
think
back.
we have, yeah.
Yeah, it's so. I just feel so much of the passion behind the business owners that we work with.
Uh-huh. Now, you have an inside track to get people a little candy at Fran's down on First Avenue. Do you ever do that?
We do.
We
3
do.
times a day we do that route, but because we do launch so many tours a day, we have to mix it up so we aren't weighing too heavy on our vendors. But our 10 o'clock, 12:30, and 3 p.m. time goes to Fran's.
What do they get? What's the usual sample?
4 truffles.
4
Wow.
per
Yeah.
person?
Per person.
Oh my god!
That's
That's worth the
awesome.
tour price right there.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
They have one of my favorite art pieces in there too, which is Fran didn't commit if that was her as a young child. So
It's Taylor,
Oh, it's
her
Taylor.
Fran's granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
who's graduating next month.
Wait,
Amazing.
what's the art piece? Wait.
I'm trying to think of the name of the artist, and it's escaping me this
I
second.
can't recall the name of the artist as well, but Dylan, my husband, worked with him to create. You'd think at this point it was AI generated, but we didn't have that
Right.
back done. So truffles in the form of Taylor as a little girl.
So it's the
Oh.
little
beautiful.
thing. Remember the things that they used to do ad campaigns out, and they'd have hooks for all the different flashing kind of little pieces of
Little
plastic.
chocolate caps that would go on.
No. It's like a little piece. Anyway, it's a long story. But he used to have a shop out in Ballard, which he sold, and he did a lot of work with Renee Erickson, the artist. And for some reason, I can't remember his name. I bought many presents for my wife there because I just think he's the dream kind of artist for me, because his stuff is not only usable. I love art that you can use, but
Got
it's
it.
also beautiful.
Mm.
And and she loves it. So I know it's a surefire present for her. And
That sounds
I
good.
miss them dearly.
Right.
You can find them online. Can I?
It'll
Can I
come to you.
remember
It'll
his
come
name?
to you.
Yeah.
So your tours, how do we, if we're wandering around in the market, do you guys carry an umbrella or?
We are wearing chef jackets, black chef jackets. It's best
Okay.
just to go online, eatseattletours.com, grab a ticket. Ticketing closes 45 minutes before our tour launches.
Oh, it's great.
But they do book up. So
How
make
much
sure
are the
about it.
tours?
$60 for the Pike Place Market, and it'll be $65 for Pike Place for Seattle Center.
Awesome.
That's
That's a
awesome.
great price.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Super fun.
Includes 4 truffles.
Sign me up.
I was so shocked when you said 4. It's like,
Yeah.
hello.
I'm glad you know the value because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, that's like a what?
It's art.
If France,
I think that's an
probably a
insider deal.
$12
there.
Mhm.
buy. 4 truffles would be my guess. A $12 or something buy. So
Get the matcha. The new matcha one is
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
you know,
Well,
one
I
of the sad things about Mother's Day and Easter and Christmas was always a go-to Fran's milk chocolate collection for my mother. It's just a go-to present for her. They had her address on file. It's just like bing, 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 bing. And now my mother's gone. I don't have anyone to send
You could
chocolates
send it to me.
No, no one to send chocolates to. It makes me very sad. It makes me weep. You can go say hi to my mother over on that stove over there. That's her picture over there. And her stove. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking with Liz Philpott, founder of Eat Seattle Tours.
Great.
Up next, Rashida, who's made that delicious breakfast for you, is going to come up and talk about a Thai night market. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Moving right along. Okay.
Hey, Pinky, did you like your breakfast?
I love it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, those eggs are my favorite way to have eggs.
Little edge?
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. We have a box you can stand on.
Nice to meet you, Liz. Take care.
Yep. But that's good to know if he has to leave at 10.
Running like a well-oiled machine today.
I'm gonna notice it.
You already know the deal. You gotta get close.
Close and intimate.
Don't forget, Rashida, right on top of that thing.
Right. In
Always, yeah. Always talk to the mic. Cam, can you lift it so she doesn't have to bend over, please?
This is fine. Oh.
Right up to it. There you go.
You have to do that with your eyes.
I don't
while
want
you're
Cam. I
talking
want
the
Cam
whole
to
time.
feel like he has a job to do.
Rashida, is that your first breakfast with the French?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
Were you
good.
nervous?
No.
She doesn't sweat.
That seems kind of personal.
She's cool as a cucumber.
She ran a little restaurant that was always busy in Fremont,
Yeah.
and there were 2 people on the line. Did you guys do the dishes too?
Oh no, we had a
Okay.
dedicated dishwasher.
There were
I
2
will cry.
people on the line, and the dining room would be full. There's 40 people.
Eve.
Remember
Eve,
Eve.
yes.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And the woman who owned it was for years my favorite cocktail waiter down at Il Bistro.
I will let her know that.
She knows. I told her.
Wow.
Oh my God, I had such a crush.
She was quite a banger.
Which one
So
was
beautiful.
that?
Deborah Russell.
I
Yeah.
haven't met
She
her.
was, and she is just.
She still
beautiful.
is.
Yeah.
Even at I think she is 60 or or something.
She must
Looks
be, yeah.
super
Yeah.
young. No
Yeah.
gray hair, nothing. I know.
We hate her. We hate her.
Whatever.
She's dead to me. No gray hair. All right, here we go. We're back in the kitchens. Everyone's
Tom?
sated. They have their wine. They had their breakfast. They had their madeleines.
They're ready for a
They're
nap.
sated. They're ready for a nap. Rashida brought them different tastes from the Thai market in Thailand. Is that true?
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. This is inspired from all my trips to Thailand. I've been to Thailand.
Why do you
5
have so many
times.
trips to Thailand?
I mean, it's 2 hours away from Singapore, so it's
Which is
like
where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like whenever we want to go somewhere, it's either Vietnam or Thailand or Malaysia across the water.
Is that true? It's like you think about it the same way we think about going to LA or
Yeah, essentially, it's like a 2 hour.
I never thought about it that way. Yeah.
And it's super cheap too. Well, 10 years ago, now I don't know what the,
Yeah.
the things are like.
How
So
much
what
were
was
the
it, $50
flights?
or something?
The flights could easily be like 60 USD.
So it's like
you know?
Ryanair in
Yeah.
Europe. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, budget airlines. That's how we.
You might not live, but it's cheap.
Well,
You'll die
Asia.
with money in your pocket.
it's Asia. It's pretty
I
reliable.
was thinking about that yesterday. I was loading up my wallet for my 5-week trip to Europe.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about what if the plane crashes? This money is just going to go
flying
away.
away.
You're not supposed to say that. I thought
What?
you promised
Hey,
Alaska Airlines.
I'm not on Alaska Airlines. Anyway,
Rashida's got a class
On a
coming
more
up.
positive note, Rashida's doing a class, and Rashida's an amazing addition to Hot Stove.
unbelievable. I
you.
agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's a good cooker, as Kat would say.
Yeah.
She's a good cooker. When she does family meal every now and again, yum. So
Okay,
these
so you
classes
pay
are cool.
$60 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Would you and your girlfriends go?
Yeah.
Boyfriends? Whatever?
Boyfriends, no, girlfriends.
Yeah.
My last trip was a graduation trip. When I graduated from culinary school, a bunch of us went to Koh Samui, more the beachy area of Thailand. And yeah, we did water sports, ate a lot. Pad Thai was like 20 baht, which is probably less than $1 for a plate
Wow.
of
For a
food.
plate of pad thai?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which is why it's a no-brainer to go there, And
Yeah.
the night markets are everywhere. So much food, so many options. Which is why I went like 5 times.
Right. So we think about Singapore having the same kind of night markets, but they're more expensive.
more expensive and more regulated. So
Okay.
for night markets in Thailand, it's like set up an umbrella and then sell your
Boom,
food.
you're in
kind of thing.
business.
Yeah, essentially literally by the streets, and most of them are good. I've had instances where I ate something and I was
A little
stuck,
sketchy.
stuck in the bathroom for the whole day, kind of thing. So
But once it passes, you're good to go.
exactly, round 2, let's go. Yeah.
So what will you be teaching in this class on May
So
16th?
we are gonna start off with some meat on sticks, skewered chicken and fish balls, which I'm gonna make from scratch, and then
What's a fish ball?
fish? So it's basically
Like a pate, kind of.
kind of
You do it in a Roboku?
Yeah, you mash up fish and cornstarch, maybe an egg, into a paste-like consistency, and then you make it into balls and boil it,
Mhm.
or you can fry it.
What spices do you have?
get-go.
Do you have like lemongrass and
usually
ginger and stuff?
White pepper, fish sauce, and coriander powder.
Yum.
Yeah, and white pepper powder, the essentials for that.
So when you say that, usually there's typical, right? All these things have kind of typical flavor profiles.
Yeah, it's
That they-
usually sweet, spicy, acidic from a lot of the lime juice that they use, and salty from the fish sauce. So like whenever you make Thai food, it has to be like that 5 flavors balanced very delicately. It's not too limey or too sweet from the palm sugar. So it's a nice balance, which is what I like. I'm like
Yeah.
a very sweet, savory, everything kind of.
So they're boiled, and then you kind of skewer them with a bamboo skewer.
Yeah.
And
And,
then
then
you-
at that point, you could fry it or kind of like simmer it in like a sauce and then serve it that way. Yeah. So aside from skewers, we also have some tampara, which is basically a green papaya salad that
love it.
you put in a giant pestle and mortar, and then you kind of
Oh,
beat
I
the
haven't
hell
done
out of it.
Really?
So it's
Yeah.
not the shredded ones that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the shredded ones with green beans, tomatoes, lots of chilies and palm
Does-
sugar. Yeah.
So it's like the traditional green papaya salad we know of.
Yes, but for this version, Plara, it refers to like the Lao version. So instead of fish sauce, they use a whole fermented fish sauce. So it's not the clear ones you see,
Oh,
where you can get like at any grocery
it's
store.
chunky.
It's the chunky, cloudy one that has
Ooh,
like 10
sounds
times more oomph.
Does
Yeah,
the
we
papaya
like
go?
that. We
Does
like
the
oomph.
does the papaya go in the mortar and pestle, or just
Yeah, the papaya.
So you bruise it, kind
Yeah,
of.
you bruise it. I even
Ah.
bought one. Well, not in Thailand,
where
but in
is it?
Philippines. It's somewhere. Oh, up there by the wine bottles. I bought
Oh, that's
that
pretty.
specifically for this class. I was going to buy one here, like on Amazon or something, but it was $50-$60.
Uh-huh.
I was just in the Philippines, and I saw that like on a roadside stall where they're selling like handmade wooden things like that, and I got
Mortar and
that
pestle, yeah.
for $16.
16?
1.6.
Oh my goodness.
So that's yours.
That's mine.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's on my shelf though.
It's a shared space.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that, and then we are gonna make Thai style omelet. The only difference between this omelet and like an American omelet, it's crispy edges. So you're gonna like this.
Tom
Yeah.
this
loves
egg.
that.
And do you use the oblong pan also, or like a
you can-
Japanese omelet?
No, you usually use a wok.
Okay.
So it kind of adds volume to it, and the
Oh,
way
really
you
crispy.
cook it is you pour it from like a tall height,
Uh-huh.
so it creates that like
Foaming.
fluffy.
You have to have
foamy.
plenty of oil in there too. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. It is not healthy, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Do you have to wear a splatter guard
Is
or
this
something?
hands-on?
My apron.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
everything is demo only, so they get to watch me yap and make some food while they sit down and eat.
Cocktails.
We'll have some special Thai,
Fun.
inspired cocktails.
Always. What are boat
Yeah.
noodles?
All right. So boat noodles are okay. So to preface that, Thailand has a lot of rivers and lakes, and basically they have a lot of shops on boats. So you can get anything like no
Ah.
groceries, bananas or whatever, and even cooked food on boats. So there is like a tour where you get on a boat and then just buy stuff from other boats all around
I've
you.
seen pictures of that. That's so
So
cool.
this dish is basically based on that, and it is a smaller bowl of noodles, and the broth is kind of like pho, but more beefy and more cilantro-y, with the addition of pork blood. So I know pork blood to thicken the broth, so you can't really taste it. It just looks, like
Don't freak
creamy.
out.
Don't freak out. Like if you don't think about it, you don't have to worry about it.
It's delicious. I
It's
must
delicious,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, don't think about it.
And they come in small bowls, so like you can eat 5 at one go
Yeah.
for like $1 each.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, I
The
love
world economics of so funny. And then of course you have Thai fried chicken.
Yep, classic Thai fried chicken, and lastly, coconut ice cream that comes with peanuts, corn, a top seed, and fried chicken skin and caramel sauce. Yeah,
So is corn ice cream just
Corn-
South Asian?
yeah, we
delicacy?
love using corn as a dessert.
Uh-huh.
So it can be like garnish on ice cream or like in crushed ice. All sorts of application, even on pizza. But
Isn't that
don't hate
amazing.
us for
That's
that.
corn's a new world, not old
Yeah,
world.
a lot of things
Popular in Hokkaido, Japan.
So
Corn
on,
everything.
Corn is?
on the Hot Stove website, if you're looking at this class, it says Chatuchak.
Chatuchak. So that
Chatuchak,
is
and that's
like
a famous market.
the most famous night market in Bangkok.
Uh-huh.
And there's so many different iterations of all the night markets, but that is probably the biggest night market.
Do you have photos?
I can dig it up.
We should tell
Yeah.
Sean and have you do a reel of all
we
your
can
cool
do that.
photos.
Yeah,
That's
from
fun.
my last trips.
We're learning, Tom. We're learning about all these cool things having Rashida here.
I
It's
know,
great.
it's awesome. The my experience at the Singapore night markets was a little underwhelmed. And I think it's because of what you're saying. It's regulated
It's very
now.
regulated,
Health
very
department
clean.
officials around.
Exactly.
Yeah, compared to some of these other night markets. which-
Yeah, you get
yeah,
the risk.
You take your chances. It's part of the drama.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Am I
exactly.
gonna get the rents or am I gonna get the best food in my life? I don't know. Let's
You
go.
don't know. Because sometimes it's not about the food, it's about the experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chef Rashida Rosley, she's going to be teaching that class on the 16th of May. I wish I was going to be here. I get back on the 16th.
Well, we'll record
So-
it for you.
There you go. Brittany Bartoleben is here. She is the chef at, where is she? Is she here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
She's hiding.
She's here, chef at Hotcakes, and new spring menu ideas to happen in your very own kitchen. Or you can shop with her. I would personally steal the idea and make them myself. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Thank you,
Nice.
Rashida.
We gotta get Rashida. Oh, now we're all gonna be tall.
Are you the tallest woman in Singapore?
Probably, which is why I could have looked
Regular. I thought I would try portrait.
I know the deal. Yeah, chef is right up to my face.
What's going on, Bartoleben?
Not much. How are you?
Good.
Hi.
If you were listening on or watching on YouTube earlier, you could have heard all the nasty things I said about
You said bad things about me? Funny.
wish.
What'd you
Would
say?
you expect any less?
No, not at all.
He said you were spicy.
I am spicy. You're right about that.
You couldn't see her because she's so tiny.
Yeah. Me too.
I don't know how you do it with
Me too.
being around all that.
Oh,
Me too.
you get sick of it though, right?
I do get sick of it. I get very excited when there's not sweet things to eat around because we don't do family meal like we do at the here. So yeah,
But
Yeah.
like in Ballard,
You know how much money we would save if we didn't do family meals?
I
at our
bet a
company?
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah.
I look at what's put out and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
my Lord,
yeah.
how do we make a nickel?
Yeah, we ate,
Okay.
we ate well here.
We're worth
People
it.
don't know
though.
in some restaurants, like our group, you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner if that's what you're working.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and coffee.
you work
yeah.
at-
That's why you have a restaurant.
If
job.
you no, it's not true. If you work at Applebee's or someplace like
Oh.
that, you might get 20% off.
yeah,
Mike.
yeah. It's not as common.
No.
oh
Yeah. So
oh really? Huh.
yeah.
I worked at a place in Spokane. It was kind of my first food job, and he charged us for everything we
Yeah.
ate. It was this Hoyt
Including
sandwich
coffee.
place. Yeah, so I'd get carrots, and he'd charge me for them.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He'd make me
Yeah.
count the 25-pound bag and figure it out, and then he doubled the price. So it was like 10 cents I had to pay.
So you're playing markup on Jesus.
On your employees.
Well, she wasn't easy to work with.
No,
I'll just
fair
say,
enough.
yeah.
Oh, it's the Bridget
whatever.
Maybe it was
tax.
just,
Good worker
maybe it was just payback.
I was a good worker bee.
Okay, we're getting ahead of time.
Okay.
And we're back. It's the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo. We are happily joined by Brittany Bartoleben, despite what I said in the opening.
We
She
love
didn't hear it,
dessert.
so it didn't happen.
I know.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Brittany, you have this hot cake shirt on.
I
even
do.
Though you used to work with us at the Dahlia
I
Bakery.
did. I still wear my Dahlia Bakery shirts
Oh, do
sometimes
you?
too. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on at Hot Cakes. So you are the harbinger of seasons.
I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just launched our spring menu a couple of weeks ago. So celebrating honey and all the things that are out and about right now. The last of the
Ah.
citrus season is happening. So we've got a really delicious blood orange creamsicle milkshake that
Wow.
we're having a hard time keeping in stock. It's flying
I
out of
know.
there.
Making
Yeah.
Syrup then.
It's almost like an eggless curd that we're making with blood oranges. I've found with milkshakes, we need whatever my mix-in needs some body to it. So I can't just add blood orange juice. It thins
Because it thins it out.
thins
right?
it out. I need, especially when alcohol is introduced to the mix.
I
For
just
some
brought
reason-
in Salerno. Have you seen
I
that
love
liquid?
Salerno.
It's-
Yes,
it's got a nice flavor
very
to it.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
It's a
it?
blood
Yeah,
orange
I don't know.
liqueur.
What's that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to make a blood orange creme caramel here and had a little bit of that Salerno in it. It just makes everything
Oh,
delicious.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing, we're calling it the Bee's Knees ice cream sandwich. I do ice cream sandwiches in the spring specifically because that's when everything is perfect climate wise. In the summer, inevitably the walk-in freezer will go down or it'll be too hot to build them or something like that. And then obviously in winter and fall, nobody wants an ice cream sandwich. So we're celebrating bees with with this ice cream sandwich. And so I've taken a snickerdoodle and added fennel pollen to it,
Oh, yeah.
which has turned out to be very delicious.
That sounds good.
Vanilla ice cream. And then we've hollowed out the center and added a core of our salted honey caramel that we launched
Sounds
earlier in the year. So when you cut it open and break into it, you get that like caramel. I want to call it like the cheese pull, but with caramel. It's just so sexy. And then we're coating around the perimeter with a little salted fennel pollen crumble just to bring it all together.
And that's at all your locations.
All three
right?
locations, yeah. And then I've brought back this chocolate layer cake, which doesn't exactly feel springy, but we had it on the menu in the summertime. I took it off for winter and fall and got hate mail. So we brought it back. It's just,
it has
it's
to
a
stay on the
chocolate layer
menu.
cake with chocolate frosting, but people lose their minds over it. So I've that might be a permanent
Do you
fixture.
sell whole cakes?
We don't take, not regularly, but if you
But I
want one,
can
we
order one.
absolutely can do
Okay.
that. We sold several whole cakes.
Because that
last time.
Rachel Coyle's Bakery, I'm like, can I just buy that cake? And they're like, no.
We usually have enough on hand that we can sell you one, or like say, hey, give us 24 hours, we'll give you one.
It's so good.
yes, yeah.
My
we
grandma-
walked by the other day after dinner in Ballard, and my friends were like,
Oh,
we should get
Coils?
dessert.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Oh, and,
at hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think
Oh,
they
you
have
saw
this
the cake.
chocolate cake.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting the ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, good. Okay.
And just went for a walk afterward. It was
good.
super
That's
fun.
a perfect walking.
You need
snack.
a walk after that.
Yeah, you do. Especially that cake. I mean, it barely fits on the plate. Like it's huge.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So back to your Bee's Knees ice cream. One of the hot cocktails in the restaurants, it was Negroni for the last few years.
Yes.
And of course, espresso martinis they've made their way back,
They sure
and
have.
they haven't gone anywhere. I think
Nope.
They've stayed true for a couple years now. But Bee's Knees is a hot cocktail,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
which is gin, lemon juice, honey syrup, and ice cubes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's very similar to your
yeah,
Bee's Knees,
yeah.
Gin, lemon juice.
honey syrup, and ice cubes. Very simple.
That sounds
It's a
good.
Bee's Knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love honey. I think it's a perfect thing to fall back on this time of year when you're sort of, I don't know if rhubarb's maybe like out of your budget right now because it's so expensive when it first.
Is it?
Hothouse rhubarb. It's crazy expensive. So I tend to prefer the flavor of outdoor rhubarb too. So I kind of wait a little bit. I mean, the hothouse is really pretty. I'll give it that.
This
but-
is the time of year for orange blossom,
yes,
cherry
yeah,
blossoms,
yes, maple blossoms.
yeah, all that
yeah.
different kind of bee honey that's out there.
Yeah.
Huh. And, the owners of hotcakes must love having you because before it was just the chocolate cake.
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah,
always
it
fun
wasn't.
desserts.
They
Autumn
did.
Martin had plenty
They
of
did
interesting.
they had a couple of
the
seasonal
s'mores
desserts.
cookies.
They had
Yeah,
a couple of
yeah,
things,
yeah.
but it's like, it's so
Whoa.
fun now.
Autumn's going to kick your butt.
Well, I'm just saying.
We
Kind of
have
plug
expanded the
Brittany.
menu quite a bit in the past few years, and as well as the wholesale line, just to have a little bit more. We introduced more cocktails and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So,
And you do savory as well. I saw.
we
a
do,
vegan,
yeah. We've got grilled cheese. Like we're kind of a cheese house as well as chocolate.
But I
We've
saw
got-
you have a vegan version of
we
that.
have a
with
vegan
cashew
grilled cheese
How is
sandwich.
it?
It's really delicious. We make our own cashew cheese.
Mhm.
We use a little bit of active sauerkraut as the culture to sort of.
Oh, that's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Not overly nutritional
No.
yeast.
No, we don't use any nutritional
Oh,
yeast
okay.
in it. I know that's often the fallback, but
Mhm.
it's cashew cheese and sauerkraut and chives, and it's almost more of a savory dip, but between griddled bread is delicious. And we do a tomato soup and macaroni and cheese and
And
we're-
cocktails.
and cocktails. So yeah,
And boozy shakes.
and boozy shakes, which is my personal favorite thing that we make.
What's your favorite boozy shake this time of year?
So this time of year, we're making our own Irish cream, and so it's just homemade Irish cream blended into a milkshake with a swirl of our caramel sauce
Uh-huh.
around the perimeter of the jar that we serve it in. And
It
it's
sounds like something you
so
have,
good.
Tom.
Nope.
You're not a sweet person.
I am, but I'm not an Irish cream person, so to speak.
Oh, got it.
I would much rather have a Scotch whiskey milkshake.
Yeah. So you probably like our smoked Scotch
Yeah.
milkshake. So it's just
that sounds more up my alley.
it's our smoked chocolate
Mm.
and blended Scotch whiskey. And
So, Tom,
it's
if
actually our most popular shake.
Oh,
So
if,
yeah.
if Tom gets a good report at the doctor, maybe you'll see him down
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
for a
I'm going
milkshake.
today. I'll find out if you'll see me this afternoon.
So I'll let you know if you can have a milkshake.
That's awesome.
Well, it's like everything in moderation.
I happened to last night. I came home from a restaurant where I ate like I should eat, but I was starving.
Yeah.
So I look in the fridge, nothing. I found some hummus, and I had some of Joan McIsaac's Effie's biscuits with hummus.
No. It
Bad
should have been a
combo.
celery stick.
Bad
with
combo.
hummus.
So then I looked in the freezer, and there's 2 mini Haagen-Dazs bars in the freezer.
Uh-oh.
Which how they've lasted
Staring
this
at
long?
you.
I don't know when they were bought.
I like how you say mini.
Well, they are minis because
Any would be
you buy the
mini for you.
minis so that you
Oh.
don't eat so much. But
Okay.
I eat
But
both
then you
of
eat a
them.
couple of them.
Then-
one sitting. Yeah.
And I might have eaten the last ice cream sandwich that was in there too. I'm not sure. I was having a little moment. Yeah,
celebrating
but I didn't
something.
drink.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I stayed to my 2-glass limit on my wine.
That which counts as not drinking for Tom.
100%. Yeah, I'm despondent about the whole thing.
So, Brittany, how do you want to spend Mother's Day?
I want to spend Mother's Day at home doing whatever I want.
Uh-huh.
I know that's
Do
really
you want
all-
someone to wait on you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't really want to be cooked for on Mother's Day. My
Oh.
husband's a terrible cook.
Oh.
So I will often be like, "This is what I would like to have for dinner and for dessert." And
Do you
guys
say it's just
can-
like that? This is what
this
I
is
would
what
like
I
to have.
want. And oftentimes it's like, I want pizza delivered and this is the flavor I want. So, I like to kick back and be, left alone.
Well, you have a 12-year-old,
He's only 10, but
10-year-old.
going on 12, I
Wow,
tell you. He's
isn't that
entered those
amazing?
tween years.
so
yeah.
he's not cooking yet because I used to cook.
No,
I used to cook
he
Mother's Day
is a little
breakfast.
bit. He
Crepes?
helps me
Stop
make
making
he helps me
crepes?
make dinner. I let him help me make dinner a couple of nights a week, and he loves to bake with me. He's very interested in it and has a really
That's
good
wonderful.
time. He loves to season. He's got a spicy tooth, I guess what you call. He loves spicy food, so it's been really fun, kind of
Uh-huh.
getting him into it. Because I'm married to somebody who, if food could come in pill form, he would be delighted. It's
Oh
just
my
one of those.
God. Why haven't
you got divorced?
I've done a lot of work on him over the
Yeah.
years,
Sounds
but
like
I'm
my
really glad
mom.
my son has inherited my
Uh-huh.
love for cooking and baking. So, but
That's
I am
cute.
going to make myself a baked Alaska. I'm really
Really?
excited about
Ooh.
that. Yeah.
What's
You know,
the
I
cost?
happen to have a recipe in my book. I don't
You
know if you've
do.
seen
You
that.
sure
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So
Is that
baked
your
Alaska.
Did you write it?
No, it's not my
Oh.
recipe. But I mean, baked Alaska. It's what I love about it is it's a canvas for whatever flavors you want to do. All you need is a meringue and some sort of cake
Listen to her.
base.
All you need is
All you-
meringue.
I know. I always
What
make
kind of
everything
meringue
sound
do you
so.
need?
I
Yeah.
use an Italian meringue,
Okay.
and so that's where you're cooking your sugar into a syrup and adding it to your whipping egg whites.
And there's a name for that.
Italian meringue.
Oh, but you had a fancy name for that I had to look up one time.
I don't know.
Okay. I'll get back to you.
But this sounds like a new hotcakes dessert.
It's something I'm tinkering around with for the summer menu. So just
Wouldn't that be fun?
a little behind the scenes. My current mental state is: do I keep this chocolate cake on the menu,
Yes.
or do I play with this baked Alaska? So. Because I've also got to have some sort of potted fruity dessert, a cobbler or a
Uh-huh.
crisp or
Oh,
something.
got it.
People love that. So
People
anyway,
love it.
you're catching me right in the frenetic
So my baked
R&D
Alaska
phase
starts
for-
with a chocolate shortbread
Mhm.
kind of cookie,
Yeah.
thinner and crispier,
Uh-huh.
cherry ice cream, kind of
Yes.
patted around, and then the meringue, the Italian
Mhm.
meringue,
Yep.
and then you torch it.
Yep.
And then if you are really feeling good about yourself, take a little 151 rum or something that lights up easy, heat it, fire it up in the pan, and pour it over top.
That's when it becomes a bomb Alaska.
And the
Right.
heat
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
the really important trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because when you heat it, the alcohol evaporates, and that's what you're lighting on
Yes,
fire.
and you get that cool flame.
You can't really
Yeah.
light it on fire if it's cold. It's
No, you
harder.
cannot. Yeah. But baked Alaska is really fun. You can go chocolatey, fruity, whatever. You can riff on the meringue and do sort of like a lemon ice cream. I think it's perfect for any time of year.
Can you flavor a meringue?
Absolutely, I'm doing a brown sugar meringue, and you can add any sort of spices or anything like
Could you
that.
add zest, like lemon zest?
Of course. You want to be careful with lemon zest. There's oils in lemon zest that can deflate your meringue.
Oh,
I've learned that the hard
those
way.
nasty lemons.
Yeah. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'm going to look for it at hotcakes.
So if
Yes.
somebody wants to come down and meet your charming self, where do you hang out?
I'm primarily in Soto. That's kind of home base for all of us. And that's where I end up spending the most of my amount of my time. If I'm in Ballard or Capitol Hill, it's just because I'm meeting with somebody or something
You
like that.
What's the busiest-
You deign to walk out and meet a customer once in a
Oh,
while?
all the
Okay.
time. Absolutely.
What's
you
the
are-
busiest
you're-
location?
Oh, Capitol Hill by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something about that.
Where is
location.
it in Capitol Hill?
It's where the B&O
The old
used to be.
B&O Espresso.
Yeah.
No,
On the corner
way.
of
Right
Olive
on.
and Belmont.
Yeah.
Yeah. That area was just meant to be a dessert place. So
It's
yeah.
true.
Well, the
yeah.
density, it's one of the densest places
Yeah,
in Seattle
yeah,
is all
yeah.
those 5-story apartment buildings,
Yeah,
7-story.
yeah.
And we have pot dispensaries. You have a
Are you
pot
gonna stay for
dispensary
trivia?
next
I'll
door.
stay for trivia.
All
yeah.
right. Did you ask her?
I always just assume.
She is just the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
competitive person I know.
Yeah.
Other
Next
than
to me.
you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
All right. That's been Brittany Bartolome. Go see her at the Hotcakes restaurants, 3 of them, Ballard, Cap Hill, and Sodo, even though the dome's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Up next, Rub with Love, Food for Thought, Tasty Trivia on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
So south of the Dome versus south downtown.
What?
South Dome started at King Street.
Right, but
That
I never thought about that.
What
south
time's
of the
the,
Dome. I was always south of
Belmont
downtown.
location?
Oh.
Like Soto.
I guess you could think about it
Oh,
south
either
of
way.
Dome.
Well,
Yeah,
4
either way.
o'clock. And then 2 o'clock on weekends.
Now I remember when the Dome was.
And like
Yeah.
And it's open until
11:30,
midnight.
well, that'll be our busiest hour between like 10:30 and 11:30. We'll have a line out the door.
At night.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, go to sleep.
And people
What
are
do you
eating,
all-
drinking coffee
drinking
drinks.
That's
coffee.
the
I don't
only.
get it.
And you mentioned the espresso martinis. Like we'll sell like 18 of them on a Saturday, which for people don't order tons of alcohol at our joint, so like that's a lot for
Mhm.
us. So yeah.
That's
What,
perfect.
What booze do you use?
We do Kahlua. We do Ula vodka. I think that's it.
That's
And then we have our
that's
own
not an
espresso
martini.
base.
Or an espresso, obviously.
All right.
You asked what
But is
booze
it
I use.
decaf?
We can do decaf. It's whatever you. Or
We
you
use Mr. Black or Borghetti espresso
Oh, I see.
liqueur
Oh,
instead
okay, okay.
Because
Oh.
We
Kahlua
just-
is
oh, yeah.
rum based.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Welcome back. We're in the final moments, the final throes of our show today, which means that it's time for Food for Thought Tasty Trivia, brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs, our very own creation made out in Ballard. If you need the perfect Mother's Day gift of Rub with Love, come down to Serious Pie in Ballard, where we make all the rubs and we have our entire collection. Oftentimes you can find them in the stores all over the country, but they don't have all
Oh, right.
18 of our
Full
rubs.
line.
So just an opportunity for you to come visit and see Ladybird, our hummingbird, which is her nest is smaller than a light bulb. She built it on the wire above a light bulb
But okay, I
in
drove
the
by-
outdoor patio. And there's 3 beaks sticking out of this nest that's the size of a
Teeny
golf
tiny.
ball.
Oh,
It's the craziest thing. We've been watching it now for a month. And she built it with
that is
cobwebs.
so fun.
And Ladybird, she's in our host report every night.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
it's
she's doing.
inside the structure.
Yeah.
So you got to
Inside
go
the outdoor-
in
yeah.
and just above the door there.
Yeah.
Because I
On,
drove
on the
by.
wire above a light bulb. It's this big.
Away from
And then
predators.
we thought there were just 2 chicks, and there's actually 3 beaks sticking out yesterday. So
Cute.
anyway, you can see Ladybird in Ballard. If you need to get your Rub with Love shipped, just hop on our website, tomdouglas.com, and we will get it packed for you, or go on Amazon. They sell a ton of it. Okay,
Nice.
Becky, how do we play, and what are we going to do here?
Okay, we got Brittany Bartolome, who's, I don't know, almost as competitive as Bridget. Hard to
think
say.
so.
Yeah, Loretta's pretty competitive
Yeah.
too. So each of you will get 5 questions, and the winner will pick someone in the audience to take a stroll through the gift shop and pick up a 3-pack of spice blends.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with Bridget, and this is all
Okay.
Mother's Day themed.
Oh,
Which famous mother is quoted for saying, "The hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread"?
then the
Famous.
hunger for bread.
Mhm.
Famous mother. Bread. I don't know. Alice B. Toklas? No, she didn't have kids.
Mother Teresa.
Oh. He had it.
Good job, audience. All right, number
That was
2.
a trick question. She doesn't have kids.
But her name's
Tom.
Mother
Trust that she doesn't
Teresa.
have kids.
Oh.
Popular for celebrations like Mother's Day in many Latin American communities, what is the name of the dessert made with a sponge cake soaked in 3 kinds of milk?
Tres leches.
You got it. And I didn't know evaporated milk, condensed milk, and heavy cream, and sometimes topped with whipped cream. That's amazing.
Deliciousness.
Delicious. Okay.
I've had very few tres leches cakes that I like.
Oh,
not my
you have,
I don't think I've ever tried it.
you
Which
have
is
to
funny 'cause
have
I
the
love
one-
a baba rum.
You have to have the hot stove version. We have a good recipe.
Oh, okay.
We got it from Ari.
Number 3, fun fact, Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. True or false, the first meal eaten on the moon by Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong consisted of bacon, peaches, sugar cookie cubes, pineapple, grapefruit drink, and coffee. Is that true or false? Was that their
You
first
have
menu?
so much information there. I'm guessing it's true.
It's true. You got it.
I thought it was just Tang.
that
came
too
later.
Specific.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Number 4, necessity has been the mother of many inventions throughout history. Which cooking tool was invented in 1679 by a French physicist to save valuable fuel by reducing cooking time by half or more than conventional boiling? Something we still use today.
A cooking tool to
Reduce the amount of energy that you need.
a
Amount of
simmer
gas.
plate.
A pressure cooker.
Oh, 16 what?
Oh, you're going down in flames today,
1679.
Bob Laban.
Final
Did
question.
you have it? They had it. You guys-
In
You're
fermentation,
on my team.
what is the name of the gelatinous, cellulose-rich culture that forms during the vinegar making process that helps convert alcohol into acetic acid?
Sorry, what was that?
The scientific name or the common name?
The common name.
What?
It's a Mother's
Come on,
Day
it's Mother's Day, Bridget. You can get this.
You know.
to make vinegar.
You know, on the bottom of your, not kefir, but the bottom, what's the
Kombucha?
kombucha? Yeah.
That's a SCOBY.
The mother.
The mother. That's it.
Oh,
you were
for
overthinking it.
vinegar. Got it.
Got it. Okay. 3 out of 5.
What's the difference between a mother and a SCOBY?
We're going to find out in the next.
Oh,
I think you get that one. Yeah, you're going to
oh
find
great.
out.
I can look it up there now.
No.
No, cheater.
All right, Brittany Bartoleben from Hotcakes. True or false? The mother of vinegar is a harmful byproduct that should be removed before consuming or using it.
False.
That's false. It's completely
So
safe.
gross. Like eating a
It's
big,
gross, but yeah.
like, running into a loogie.
Just
Sludgy and it is loogie-ish.
Yeah, I dump it out at the bottom of the kombucha. Number 2, simnel cake is traditionally made for Mothering Sunday in the UK. What type of cake is it? Simnel.
Seminole cake.
SEM or
Simnel. Like, is it a sponge cake or a?
Hey. She's a baker. Don't give her more hints.
I mean, there's so many different kinds of cake. I have no idea. I've never heard of this cake. I don't know.
I'm guessing fruitcake
Fruitcake.
Okay.
Bridget got it.
because
Okay.
the Brits.
I don't feel good about these questions. I'm just gonna say.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, these are tough.
In Germany, a traditional Mother's Day gift is a marzipan treat. Does marzipan contain alcohol?
No.
Well, it's kind of a trick question, but yes, it can. It can only if it's got almond oil extract. If it's
Oh,
almond
for
oil.
the love.
I'm
Oh,
giving
come on.
it.
Alcohol's the carrier of the flavor.
Yeah.
Wait, are we
You
giving
would
that
think
to
a
her?
baker
I'm
would
giving
know
it to her
this.
because if you not all of them have extract in it. So and you had conviction.
Okay, your ratio's
And you
gone
had
up.
conviction. I love Becky's. And you had conviction, so you get that. point.
That doesn't work for you, Tom.
I know. Believe me, I know.
All right, number 4. In sourdough baking, what affectionate term is sometimes used for the original culture kept alive for future baking?
It's an affectionate term.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your starter. I mean,
What's the affectionate version of that?
Related to
It's
my
Mother's
question
Day.
in
It's
vinegar.
Mother's Day.
it's not the mother.
It
I've never
is.
heard that.
Oh, you haven't?
No, but okay, mother.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Take the
Yeah,
win.
I'll
Mother
take it.
sourdough, Mother sourdough
You're
starter.
welcome.
I've heard of people naming their starter, but never mother. But
Okay.
okay.
All right. Final
Actually, Jackie
question.
calls me her starter, Tom, and she's needing it.
Taking out her aggressions.
Yeah, exactly.
Final question, true or false? Julia Child's grandson and Marcello Hazan's son are teaming up on a long-awaited cookbook set to debut in November of 2025.
Let's say that's true for hopeful reasons. That would be
I
cool.
wish that were true, but it's false. It sounds delightful, but Julia didn't have any children.
Oh, that's right. She didn't. that was another trick question.
But Marcello's son, Giuliano Hazan, is a noted cookbook author and cooking instructor specializing in Italian cuisine, honoring his mother. So Are you guys in a tie for 3 out of 3? Yeah, you are. Okay, Tom.
All right, Tom, you got to
Yeah.
I still have no idea.
pull yourself out of
This young lady right here is going to help me.
Okay.
She knows all.
All right. And true or false? Like your mother, Betty Crocker was the mother of 8 children.
100% true. Betty Crocker's a made up name.
So what's your answer?
No, she doesn't have 8 children.
No, she doesn't. I asked this question of Terry 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And he jumped up and said, true. It was so cute. But he didn't grow up in the US with
Yeah.
with fake Betty Crocker.
Yeah, fake Betty Crocker.
Yeah. Good job. That was in honor of Terry. In classical French cuisine, what is the term for the foundational sauces from which many or others are derived?
Oh, man. She's feeling bad for you.
Yeah.
You all got mother questions. You just couldn't answer them.
That's true.
What are your mother sauces?
They got it. Good job. All right. True or false? In the Mother's Day recent issue of Gourmet magazine, there's an article with the gorgeous photos of creative ways to use rhubarb leaves in spring dishes.
False, because Gourmet
Gourmet's
magazine
gone.
is long gone.
And
Which is so sad.
that is false. But how would you use rhubarb leaves in spring dishes?
You would look for someone you wanted to kill,
There you go.
like Brittany Bartolabin.
hate.
You invite Brittany to lunch. Here, have a little tea, little girl.
And you poison her. Good work. Okay, number 4. What ancient ingredient, once called the mother grain by the Incas, is a complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids?
Quinoa.
Quinoa. Ooh, you are screaming here. Number 4.
I guess that eliminates those two.
Winner,
Okay,
winner,
true or
chicken
false?
dinner.
I have no. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. A SCOBY and a vinegar mother are biologically identical and interchangeable in all fermentation processes.
I guess it's false because you told me they're not the same thing.
So well, you get 5 out of 5. You're welcome.
Oh,
That's
he
too
still
bad.
won. He still won. So he gets to
That's
pick out
too
someone
bad.
in the audience after the
Okay,
show.
All right. If you want to be the perfect mother, don't be like Brittany Bartolabin and lose at trivia.
Oh, I'll get you next time.
Ouch.
If you want to be part of the show, you can join the community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas & Co. or just buy a ticket at hotstovesociety.com. Wouldn't that be fun?
Come join us.
Is that okay with you all? Buy a ticket? Yeah, there we go. The show is produced by Becky Guzak. Our technical wizard today is Cameron Thomas. Our talented editor at Cairo is Sean No Call Me Del Torre. And if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo, you can go back and watch YouTube or listen via podcast, wherever you get your podcast.
Thanks for listening and happy Mother's Day.
Right. Good job.
Good job, Bridget. Good job, Tom. Great job.
All right. We're going to do a quick quiet on the set, please. Hi, I'm Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Bridget Charters.
Today on the Hot Stove Society radio show, in honor of May's Hunger Awareness Month, we're joined by my youngest sister, Michelle Douglas, from the Emergency Food Network in Tacoma. Randy Brooks, founder and winemaker at Bacovino, tells us about his new waterfront tasting room in Pioneer Square. Liz Philpott, founder of Eat Seattle Tours, has really been busy, it seems like to me. She's got a bunch of tours going around town. And pastry chef Brittany Bartolabin, my favorite from Hotcakes, is here to talk about spring desserts.
Oh.
She had a little makeup to do.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Done. It's a wrap.
This show's over, but we are doing another show. You're welcome to stay. And if you need to leave at you're welcome to leave. We won't take
Come or go anytime.
You can come and go anytime. It doesn't disrupt.
As far as I know, there's no more food to be